This is Padar Island in Indonesia. And this is the only place on the entire planet where you'll find these. To get to both, I spent 2 nights sleeping on a boat in the middle of the Flores Sea, sailing between islands, and it was one of the best things I've done all year. It started in Labuan, Bajo, the scrappy little port town that's the jumping off point for all this. I got picked up from my accommodation at 9 a.m. and brought down to the port, already buzzing with travelers about to embark on their own Komodo journey. The second I stepped aboard, the crew handed me a cold drink and a cool towel. The welcome that I'd soon learn set the tone for the entire trip. Then our guide, Christian, welcomed everyone on board and walked us through the plan for day 1. Once all introductions had been made, we had 3 hours to settle in, relax in the sun, and explore the boat before our first stop of the day. After soaking up the sun and taking in the views, we were called down for lunch by Christian, the very first of the trip, which consisted of chicken, sashimi, shrimp, calamari, eggplants, and fruits. As we all gathered around the table and started to eat, I could not believe how delicious everything was, and the fact that this was cooked on this boat blew my mind even more. As soon as lunch wrapped, we piled into the dinghy and motored over to our first snorkel spot, and I could not get into the water fast enough. With the first spot behind us, we headed to the second dive site, chasing something rare, manta rays. Christian couldn't promise anything, but he said if we were lucky, we might just see one. Where are we going?
Manta ray.
Manta ray point, we're right here.
Yeah, over there. Manta point, yeah?
Let's do this.
So let's find the manta rays as well.
Yes,
Yeah, I hope we are lucky.
And boy, were we lucky. We ended up seeing 10 to 12 manta rays in that dive alone. Once we were back aboard, we were treated with cold refreshments, spring rolls, and fried bananas. Cheers. Manta rays were a success. Back against some fried bananas. The final activity of the day, we cruised over to Taka, Makassar, a tiny crescent of sand smaller than a football field. And here's the wild part. This island only exists at low tide. A few hours later and the whole thing disappears. We ended up seeing baby sharks and some small turtles while exploring the small little crescent bar. After getting back to the boat, I hung my wet clothes on the line, settled in, and watched the sun go down as we waited for dinner.
Avocado and cucumber. Snapper fish. Spaghetti, everybody knows spaghetti. One is loma. Chicken.
After an incredible dinner and a little bit of shopping, we got ready for day number 2 as Christian explained our 5 a.m. wake-up call.
I be back to leaving from the main boat, getting onto the small boat and start hiking up.
Alright, bright and early, 4:30 in the morning. We are going to take off and see this amazing sunrise. Let's look. Back on the boat, breakfast was waiting. Nasi goreng, eggs, sausage, pancakes, fresh fruit juice. Fuel for the big one. Because next, we were headed to the island these waters are actually named after, Komodo. There are only a few thousand Komodo dragons left in the entire world. And this tiny cluster of islands is the only place on Earth you'll find them in the wild. So we set off on foot with our guide, hiking through dry savanna and forest, hoping to spot one in the open. And there it was, the largest lizard on the planet, growing up to 10 feet long and weighing over 300 pounds. By the end of the hike, we'd counted over a dozen dragons. This one barely moved, and going by the full belly, I think we knew exactly why. After a bit of shopping, we headed back to the boat and set our sights on the next stop, Pink Beach, for some snorkeling and beach time. From up here, you can really see it. The color comes from crushed red coral and tiny marine organisms mixing into the sand, and there are only a few beaches like it in the world. Then it was back to the boat, where the crew had fresh coconuts waiting, exactly what you want after a full day in the sun. We had a 3-hour cruise ahead to our next location, and honestly, I just used that time for a much-needed nap. I came up from my nap to find everyone already in the water, swimming, laughing, making the most of the last afternoon. One final barbecue and sunset to go. With fish on the grill, I started hearing all this commotion from the upper deck. I headed up to see what all the fuss was about, and the entire sky was full of bats, thousands of them, streaming right over the boat. And I learned that every evening at sunset, thousands of giant fruit bats pour out of the mangroves to go feed on the neighboring islands. Wave after wave against the sunset. Pretty remarkable way to close out the day. But the night wasn't over. Our chef had gone all out for our final dinner on the boat. And I'd learned not to underestimate what came out of that tiny kitchen.
And this one is grilled squid and also grilled prawn, snapper fish.
We all ate really well that night. The last dinner on the boat, everyone together, and it hit me that this was my final meal as a 30-year-old. Tomorrow, I'd turn 31. Not a bad place to do it. I woke up a year older to one last breakfast on the boat. Hot tea, fresh dragon fruit juice, eggs Benedict, and French toast. Plus views I still wasn't used to. Not a bad way to start a birthday or a final morning at sea. To wrap up the trip, we squeezed in one last snorkel and then made our final stop at Kelor Island. We swam with baby reef sharks, soaked up that turquoise water one more time, and just enjoyed the last few hours before heading back. As Labuan Bajo came back into sight, we packed up our things and carried them down to the main deck before saying our goodbyes. We said our goodbyes, and the crew sent us off with a farewell gift. One last kindness from a group of people who genuinely made this trip. From the sunrise at Padar Island to swimming with manta rays, it was truly a one-of-a-kind experience. Some trips you just feel lucky to have taken. This was one of them. Until next time, Komodo.